Well, hi, Corey. Welcome to Intuitive Insights School of Intuition podcast. On today's topic is on house healing and energy in houses. Welcome, Corey. Corey's our #1 clairvoyant teacher in the United States. She teaches thousands of students how to read the aura. She's truly an amazing human. Um,
Thank you.
and I myself is Vessa Reinhart-Philips. I direct Intuitive Insights School of Intuition, and I've been doing it for 40 some odd years. I don't want to date myself too much, but that's what I've been doing for the last 40 years.
You started when you were 10.
Well, a little bit older, but not much older. Not much. I actually started when I was a late teenager. That's when I started. But anyway, going along with that it's interesting before we go into our house healing and how to clean the energy out of your house. That's a good point about when do you really start being psychic or intuitive or spiritual. I believe we're all born with this innate spiritual ability. Everyone has a little bit of a different gift, but you can learn how to be better at all your gifts by learning psychic tools. And we teach it Intuitive Insights, and Corey teaches them, I teach them, Carla teaches them. We teach these tools that uncover your innate abilities that are just buried in you, ready to come out. And I have to say, for myself, I really started as a little kid with animals, being alone with the animals most of the day. I started to develop a telepathy with these animals, and it kind of helped me develop some of my tools, but then some of the tools I learned at a school later on about how to bring out more of your abilities. So anyway, what about you, Corey? When did you first get this ability? Or, because some people say, oh, you have to be born with it. Well, it's not necessarily true. And technically we're all born with it, but you uncover it using tools. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. I have the same, oddly, I have much the same experience that you did, but I was born a twin. I have a twin brother. And so I would say that I was born telepathic. Did I know that I was telepathic? No. But I would know when people were lying to me, and I could read people's minds. And it created this, what's wrong with me? Why do people lie to me? Until I learned about my intuition and about the fact that I had telepathy. So my whole life I carried this, this wound of what's wrong with me, and I could not figure it out until I took, what I teach at Intuitive Insights is a clairvoyant program, and we had the telepathy class, and I just realized there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just telepathic. And so I find that a lot of my students come in with similar wounds, not knowing what's wrong. And I think we all are really born with it. It's just whether we're aware of it or not. And like myself, it can be wounding if you don't know what's going on. But
Right.
once you learn these tools, it's life changing. Life changing.
It
That's why I
is
teach it.
sometimes, thank you. I notice that with the tools, it unhandicaps me. It's almost like we're handicapped without the tools. Then you have the tools, and I'll give you a good example of one that I just thought of the other day. There are sometimes where you don't want to go outside in the world because you're scared people will throw energy at you. That's a psychic term you learn, that someone throws energy and they kind of whack you. They kind of tear into their aura. And these aren't words that we use. It's almost like learning a different language when you join the clairvoyant program or the intuitive training program, when you say that you don't use the word whack someone or repair the aura or throwing energy, but that's in essence what happens. When I say that, most people know what I'm talking about. They've gone out to, say, they're in traffic, or someone uh, gets angry at them, and they feel an energy blast come into their self. Now, if you have some tools, you can kind of clean up that blast and recover from it. If you don't have tools, you might be devastated. You might not be able to leave the house. And if you learn some tools to kind of protect yourself, keep the other people's energy out, release energy once you've taken it on. And today we're going to talk, as I mentioned, about houses and what kind of energy goes into houses. And so we could talk about haunted houses and all that, but I also want to just talk about your day-to-day home. What's the vibration in your home? Do you get in your home and you just dump energy out from the day? A lot of people just dump the energy out. It's sometimes people will go in their home and it's not an environment where they can relax. And so today we're going to ground the rooms and clean the rooms out of your house, and we're going to teach you how to do it so you can do it too. Any comments, Corey?
No, I think that's great. I think that's great. You know, you said, well, we're not going to talk about ghosts or haunted houses or anything, but I have an ex-sister-in-law. She used to love to go ghost hunting, and she would bring them home.
Oh my.
And so there would be like little trickster, ghosts coming and, messing with the energy, but she didn't know how. She didn't know. She had no idea that, when you come home or before you get home, when you get home, you clean out all the energy that you've picked up along the way, in your day-to-day life. She didn't know. And so, yeah. So there was,
Yep.
a few spirits that decided to, live in
Yeah.
their home for a little while. And so then they called me.
Oh, and you helped release the spirits out and move them out so they didn't have those beings running around their house. Right.
House cleaning. Yeah, they called
Yeah.
me to do the house cleaning. And so
Yeah.
that's what I explained to her. And most people don't know. They just don't know.
No. And today we'll
That's
learn
an
some.
extreme example, but an
Yeah.
example nonetheless.
Yeah. And we'll do some simple tools and just clean out the home today, clean the space out. One thing you reminded me though, so when you said haunted house, I got called to go to Old Town, which is San Diego. It's the older section of San Diego. It's 100 years old, and there was a home that had a chair that would ooze. So the chair was perfectly dry wood, but occasionally it would start oozing this goo when they saw this entity come in the space. And so I brought my team of readers, and we all grounded and we cleaned out, and then we looked at this entity, we said hello. And the funny thing was the owner of this house told us telepathically she doesn't want it healed or cleaned out because she likes having an oozing chair that is kind of haunted. We spoke to the entity and all, and then we told her, yeah, we get this feeling that you don't want to clean this up. And she said, actually, that is true. I don't want it cleaned up. I just want someone to look at it and validate that this chair is oozing. And we talked about the man who was coming and what he would do to the chair to make it ooze energetically. And she said, I know that man. He's been in, I've gotten that same impression from him. So anyway, she just wanted validation. She doesn't want us to clean. She didn't want us to clean the place because the place was haunted and she liked it. So that was kind of a strange one that we did one time. But anyway, let's do a little bit of a meditation to start getting ourselves ready, and then we'll start to expand that and work on the house. Do you want to take us through a little grounding golden sun cleaning, so people can see what it's like to learn some psychic tools?
Yes, I'd love to.
I'll be your student.
Thank you. Okay, so when we get our energy ready, just to clean a house, just close your eyes. And we do close our eyes so we can use our imagination as well. And we bring up a ball of light. Just bring you in the here now, just to be in the present moment, and place that in our bodies, right in between our hip bones. Like expand that ball of light, creating a tube. And this is going to be what we call our grounding cord. So we release that down, 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 down into Mother Earth, finding the center of Mother Earth. Connect that grounding cord. And now, any energies that you've picked up from people, places, things, situations, which we do, imagine all your darker colors, because our colors are vibrant. So imagine all these darker colors. These are energies that aren't ours. Going down the grounding cord. Mother Earth will take it, neutralize it, or recycle it back to where it belongs, just not in your space. That's good. And then we leave our energy a lot of places. So we bring back our energy. If you're feeling depleted, tired, it's because you've left your energy wherever you've been. And that's okay, we all do it. We place a golden sun above our heads, a big, bright golden sun. And we write our names in magnetic letters or ink as that magnet. And the gold is going to neutralize and purify anything that we put in it. So call back all of your energy where you've left it. You don't have to worry about where you left it, because it's going to be neutralized and purified in that golden sun right above your head. Just imagine, what is your color? Watch it all come back into the golden sun. And we're going to return it back to our bodies. So I always say, it's kind of like an egg. We just crack that golden sun open. Pour all that yummy energy, your energy, back into the top of your head, down your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your torso, your hips, down to your tippy toes, returning your energy back to you. And allow it to go into every nook, every cranny, every cell, every molecule. And then just take a deep breath in. And open your eyes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I really like the visual of having the egg, like you're cracking open an egg. And so when I was calling back my energy in that magnetic thing, I had put some energy in my son. This morning I was talking to him, kind of watching what he was doing as he was leaving the house to go off do his adventures. And I noticed some of my energy came back from him, like I was almost like tracking him or following him. So that energy came back in the golden sun and filled me in. Thank you. Thank you. That was great.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well,
so
let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what do you want to take us through the house?
Yeah, let's do that. So sometimes in our house, I notice like certain rooms will collect different types of energy. Like, for example, you may have office paperwork and stress over paying bills, and that energy gets created and thoughts are real. So sometimes the thought sits in that room and it just stays there. And I actually noticed this when I worked with some realtors. They called me for a reading to help them sell their properties. So they gave me the address of the property, and I kind of astral traveled over there, and I went through the property, and I noticed there's a lot of arguing and anger. And I said to the realtor, there's so much anger in this house. That's why you've been difficult time selling it. So I collected up the anger thoughts using some techniques we teach it in the psychic tools class in the Clairvoyant program, and I exploded those anger thoughts. And she said, oh yeah, the family went through a divorce, and then this is the house they're selling. I said, oh. And she says, it's been on the market for 4 months. It's been really terrible. And I said, yeah, let's clean that out and let's get that anger out of the house. Because if you'd imagine, like, there's like a photograph just sitting in the ether, and those photographs collect energy. For example, let's say this was an anger issue like you had with someone, and it just sits there. Maybe they stole your flower and you're really angry at them, and that picture will just sit in the ether like this. Now sometimes they'll naturally release out of the space, but sometimes not. They'll just be stuck there. And then what a reader or you could do, if you learn some psychic tools or benefit, you can start to release, ground this thought out, and then fill it with a neutral gold energy, kind of like this little sun behind me, this gold sun. It's like you put gold neutral energy back, and then the space is neutral. Then someone new could come in and buy the house, and they could make it any way they want or set the tone. So the first thing I notice is that certain rooms have certain energy. And one time I did my paperwork at the kitchen table, and I had gone through all these bills, and I had a huge stack. It was like a half-inch thick of, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do that. Paper, paper, paper. Somehow that energy got stuck on the table. And then other people in the family would come and put papers on the table. And pretty soon, even though I had cleared all my stuff out and made it a dinner table, it was a paper place. And people just energetically can intuitively see those thoughts, and those thoughts will get stuck there. Another example I had is sometimes, I'm driving my car, I'm driving along, and I notice that certain stretch of the highway that's perfectly straight, it's a straight line, it's just driving, there'll be an accident there. And then a week later, there's another accident there. And then a month later, there's an accident there. It's as if there's these thoughts that just kind of got stuck in the ether, and it's just floating around accident, and people just have an accident right in that spot. So I cleared that stretch of highway, then there were no accidents. Never had to sit through traffic again getting there. So energy is real, thoughts are real. That's why the clearer you get, like if you learn how to run energy by using psychic tools or take the Clairvoyant program, you get clearer and clearer. And then it's really important what you think, or how you think, rather. You want to think positive thoughts. I have a good friend of mine, and he will say to me sometimes, he goes, oh yeah, let's go to the concert. And I say, oh, okay, we're all going to the concert. And then he'll say, oh, we'll probably get there, not be able to find parking. And he creates that. And so I'll explode his thought and say, no, I have parking magic. I can find parking anywhere. And I'm going to give you some of my parking magic, and then we'll find a place right in the front. If we don't do that, guess what? We can't find parking. We're going around and around and around, because he created that with his thought. And people don't realize if they have a lot of good, energy, it's almost like a slide. Well, I'm dating myself, but it's like the old days. We had these little slide projectors. You have the slide, and then your light passes through it. It's just like that with the body. You are a ball of light, like you had mentioned. That's your light. And then you pass through the thought. The energy passes through the thought. And the more capable and cleaned out you become, the more important it is to think a certain way. So anyway, all that talk about different, there might be paperwork in some part of your house, or it's always a mess in a certain area. You can clean it up. So let's do that right now. We're going to go back into that meditation that Corey just did for us. And Corey's going to volunteer to help do this too. And so let's just close our eyes again, and let's establish that grounding down, 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 down into the earth. And let's just go ahead and imagine a square around the perimeter of your house, as if you're grounding the entire frame of your house. And we're going to start to see that release. Let the gravity start to pull out all the dark colors from your house. Just envision it happening. You don't have to do too much other than envision it happening, and it moves the energy. So, and energy is real. Like I said, we're not just imagining this, we're actually doing it. So we're we've got the whole house kind of connected or tethered down, 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 down 4,000 miles into the center of the planet, as if we have a hollow tube on our house that's a big square shape. And it's just releasing energy from the walls and from the floor and the airspace. We're just making a big vacuum right now. And we're just letting the gravity pull out all the other people's energy that have been in this house, the walls, the floor, the past experiences, anger that's stuck there. Just kind of imagine all those little squares of thoughts that have all gone on in this house, and then just release it down, down, down. It's like you're waving goodbye or you're dropping a rock down this gravity hold into the earth. The planet's a healer and it will suck up the energy, absorb the energy. So once that's done, we have a little vacuum in our house. So what we want to do is above our house, we want to put a big golden ball, and we'll just call back all the light that would be in that house, like a big magnet of gold energy, and also maybe just your brand of energy. Kind of imagine your bright blues, bright pink, bright yellow, bright green, getting all assembled, and then we're going to pull that golden sun into the walls, into the floor space, into the airspace, into the rooms, and we're gonna just release it. Just kind of let it go right through the house, and a lot of the gold just stays in the house. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and stretch and open your eyes.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow. That was
it feels
amazing.
lighter. Yes.
So much lighter. So much lighter. I know, and
Great,
just putting it, just imagining all that going down, all that going down. Yeah,
great.
like black.
Well, let's take this a step further and let's tune a room to a certain vibration. Sometimes when I'm reading someone and they're going to go meet with, say, their mother in law for lunch, and they're a little nervous about the meeting, I'll make a, a bubble that sits between them and the mother in law, and I set it at the tone they want. What do you want to have happen in this meeting? What is the best thing that could happen? And so, oh, my mother-in-law and I laugh, and she says she's going to help me and my husband with the down payment on the house, or whatever the goal is. And I'll put that in the bubble. So it's there and it's real, and it kind of sets the tone for the energy of the meeting. But we're going to do that with our house. So let's think of some of the rooms in our house, like maybe the office. You want to be productive and solutions to happen, and you can solve the problems. We're going to set that tone there. Maybe in the kitchen, you want it to be healthy food to make easy and fun, to set the tone in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and harmony with the people coming in. They get replenished and happy, and maybe cooperation. You could set a cooperation. You have kids in the house. You want everyone to put their dish in the sink and clean it, or put it in the dishwasher, or whatever it is. You want a little harmony in the house. Maybe you want to make a little bubble for each pet. Maybe you have pets in there. You have a cat or a dog. We don't want the cat or the dog to take over the whole household, but sometimes I see that. We're going to put the animal in a little bubble so they can be the king or queen of their little bubble, not rule the entire place. And maybe you want uh, uh, the living room to be a welcoming place where people can come in and dump their energy out and release it, but a grounding cord so they can dump their energy out. Or maybe for yourself, you want your bed to be a place where you can release energy out, but maybe you want to set you're having a date, come over, watching a movie, you want a little romance near the television, go ground out the past energy. There's so many little microcosms in a house. So we're going to set a couple of microcosms in your house. So Corey, can you think of a room in your place that you want to be set at a certain tone?
I mean, well, I'm staying at my brother's house, which is always
Okay.
fun.
Oh, you're on
And
vacation.
I'm on vacation, and so I have two nephews, and they've got a lot of energy. So, and they're in the living room all the time. The toys, everything are there. So harmony would be nice to set
Harmony.
tone for that. Harmony and getting along. So what would that be? What would we call that? Getting along would be, well, happy, playful,
Mm-hmm.
harmony.
Okay. Let's set it at that tone. And to
Okay.
you, if you go within, what color is harmony? What if you imagine the vibration of harmony in a certain color, what would that be?
Green. That's the first thing
Green.
that comes up.
Green. Okay.
Green.
We're
Yeah.
going to set a green
Yeah.
harmony bubble in the room, and we'll even expand it out to the walls and the floor and the ceiling. We put green, almost like we're making this big square room of green energy for
Okay.
your room. And I'm in
Oh,
agreement to that. So, um, and so so go ahead and those of you who are watching this podcast, go ahead and close your eyes and pick a room. And we're going to do just like Corey's doing. We're going to set the tone of a certain room. For me, I'm working in my office today with my computer and the bills and the podcasts and all sorts of things. So I'm going to ground my room and I'm going to set it at production and solutions, which to me is a bright yellow. So I'm going to put that bright yellow productions and see that actually happening in the space. And for you, Corey, since you're setting your room at harmony with the nephews, why not see the nephews coming in and hitting that harmonious energy and deciding to be on a team, like everyone's a team in this family and we all
perfect.
work together and have fun together. See that harmony. And then you there at home who are watching this, maybe you're working on your bedroom and you want to relax in the bedroom and be able to sleep. So you're just going to release it out. And we're doing energetic feng shui. We're just grounding out any serious energy that would make you stressed in the bedroom. We're going to ground that out. We'll leave that in another room, not that room. But we're going to just ground the bedroom and say your ideal sleep is pink and white. So then you would just envision the whole room pink and white. Set that microcosm for the room to be that vibration. Okay. And Corey, do you have that green sun in there and it kind of stretched it out to the walls and the floor and ceiling and you see the scene you want to have happen?
I do.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so go ahead and just bring in a golden sun for yourself and kind of pull your energy back from the room. It's already done. And then let's go ahead and stretch and kind of come out of that trance.
Wow.
Good.
So you know
Well,
what's
you'll have to
interesting?
let
Oh, go ahead. Oh, yep. You froze for a minute. Um, yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. But it's interesting how I had the bubble and then I expanded it and it was like green. And then it kind of turned to like an army green, kind of like a camouflage. And I was like, is that harmony? Then said, well, for boys it is. And I said, well, why don't we just blend it a little bit more? And then it just turned to this beautiful green and saw them coming in and getting along and, you know, and sharing toys and helping one another. Yeah, can't wait to tell you.
Okay, great.
I know
Well,
it's going to happen though.
yes, yes. Yeah, well, great. Well, this was really fun to do that. And those of you who are watching today, you can work on your house room by room,
Mhm.
set it. I did want to say one other thing that before we end today is that sometimes we put a lot of energy, don't come into my house to protect my house, but for example, a realtor wants to sell a house, they want people to come in and look at the house. So sometimes I'll bring bold lines of energy from the neighborhood and I'll clear out that energy that says, don't come into this neighborhood to help get customers into the realtor's house. So you can also play with the energy outside your house and how that works. So anyway, I think we've run out of time. So thank you
Oh,
so much for talking to me today about house healing.
well, thank you, Vessa, so much for having me and doing this together. Um, we love energy work,
Yes, yes.
really
All
do.
right.
Yeah.
Till next time, we'll see you all later. Okay.
Bye for
Take
now.
care. Okay. Bye bye.